Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Video Vinyl Spotlight. My name is Rich from richdgmono, I'm your host. And today we have a special record. I don't think I say that about every record I review here. This one's special because it sounds really amazing, and I like to use it for a demo disc, as we might call it, to kind of show off my sound system at its best here at my house. The disc in question is Toshiko Akiyoshi, Toshiko Meets Her Old Pals, on King Records. This is technically a reissue. It's from the early 70s apparently. The original I think was only mono, and it's very, very hard to find. I've seen it come up a couple times in pop psych listings. This is apparently a 1974 stereo pressing. The original mono would have been released in the early 60s, shortly after it was recorded. This album was recorded on 3 dates in 1961. The label is a red King label with gray font here. And yeah, this is a very clean copy. I scored a couple years back after a friend of mine, Clifford Allen, had brought his copy over when I had a listening party, and I was blown away by how good it sounded. The fidelity was incredible. So yeah, I had to get a copy for myself. I was considering a CD copy versus a record, and then a really decent priced record showed up on Discogs, and so I went for it, and it was in the US, so I didn't actually have to pay for international shipping. Great record. I don't really feel like I need to listen to every single song on it, you know? It's not one of those start to finish burners. The first side opens up with So What, the same composition of Miles Davis that appeared on Kind of Blue a couple years before this was recorded. Really interesting interpretation here of So What. I feel like the musicians are kind of imitating the original musicians on Kind of Blue. I think they tend to switch it up and make it their own at the same time, and it's a really enjoyable listen. The second track, The Night Has a Thousand Eyes, good track, catchy tune. I would definitely, if I was playing the vinyl, I would definitely just let it play through. Dinah Lee, very upbeat, originally composed by Charlie Parker. One of the more fun tunes on this album. Pretty aggressive, you know, those bebop tunes that Charlie Parker wrote often have these really complex melodies, and this one is no different. It can be a somewhat challenging listen. So yeah, on the first side, I'd say that like my pick would be So What, the album opener. But my pick for the entire album by far is the opener of the second side, Quebec, which was composed by Charlie Mariano, who would have been married to Toshiko Akiyoshi, the album leader and pianist on the album. Quebec has just got a great chill vibe. Yeah, Old Pals is a nice tune written by Toshiko Akiyoshi, and the album closer, Watasu no Beethoven. I guess it was also composed by Akiyoshi, who was called Toshiko Mariano in the composer credits on the label here. The last track is in the spirit of Herbie Hancock's avant-garde stuff that he put on his albums in the mid-60s, like Empyrean Isles and Maiden Voyage. It's listenable. I find The Egg listenable on Empyrean Isles. I mean, if I'm not near my turntable and it's playing, I'll let it play usually if I'm like, you know, doing something else. But I don't know, if I'm doing more focused listening, I'll probably skip it. So the program here has that kind of diversity. What more can I say about this Japanese vinyl quality? I mean, it is just the best. It really is. It's just the highest quality, the quietest, smoothest sounding vinyl I've ever heard. In the 70s, going into the 80s, I've always been very pleased, almost always been very pleased with my Japanese pressings. The truth is I kind of feel like overall, I feel like the British and the Japanese were maybe a little more talented at pressing vinyl than Americans. There's exceptions where I feel like American plants rivaled the British and the Japanese. You know, we're talking about the actual plating of the stampers and and the pressing, of course. Plasti-Lite, obviously, you know, who did all Blue Note stuff, you know, they always produce some great sounding stuff. Here, you know, today we have QRP and RTI as our most respected pressing plants, and you know, I don't really think that they match up to the best of the British and Japanese historically, but you know, it's I'd say it's pretty close. With all that being said, this album is recommended, highly recommended, yes, based on the fact that it sounds so amazing, and the best tracks on the album definitely make it worth a pickup. I'm sure you will be impressed when you put this on your turntable. Beautiful stereo separation, extremely accurate, clean recording quality. Again, worthy of demo disc status. All right, so that's it for this time. Thanks for watching, and be on the lookout for the next one.